Everybody, welcome back to Dad Space, the podcast for dads by dads. And here we are here to talk about, are your kids college ready? Like, do you have a plan? Because when my kids were little, I'd be like, well, I thought of a plan, but I don't really know if I had one. And did I execute the plan? No, not very well. And had I known this guest and had I known about what she does to help parents like me, I probably would have reached out a long time ago and had somebody in my corner to help me. Really excited to have Shellee here on the podcast. We're going to be talking about college ready and all the great stuff she does. She's got some great gifts for you too as a listener, so pay attention at the end. You're going to love this. Shellee, welcome to Dad Space. Glad to have you on the podcast.
Thank you so much, Dave. I'm excited to share with your listeners.
This is amazing. Again, I love people that help parents. Like, that is like the best thing ever. So I'm a huge fan already, and we're excited to get into the conversation. First, let's start off with this. Shellee, where are you? Where are you in this big world of ours?
Well, I'm currently in Southern California, but I am an international world traveler. So as many continents as I can, as many countries as I can, that is my true fun. I just get to blend it with a wonderful career. So today I'm recording from Southern California.
Nice. I like that flexibility to go and be places and see things. Canada, is that on your list? Come on.
I love Canada. As a matter of fact, I have a bag tag on my luggage that's Canadian. And why, you might ask? Because when people ask me, "Oh, are you from Canada?" I go, "Eh?"
Well done.
My husband is actually Canadian, so it's a running family joke. Yes, I'm a one Canadian.
So make sure you throw the occasional sorry in there as well. That's also a good one. That's a giveaway.
Okay.
You're from Canada. Just say sorry all the time. Sorry. Yeah. And then instead of saying a boot, like on your foot, that's kind of how we say about up here.
Yes.
So anyways, that's Canada for you. And we love our Tim Hortons coffee, and we love moose, and our money is called toonies and loonies. So there you go. That's all free knowledge for you.
Yeah, that's why Canada is Canada.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's a very interesting place to live. So I love having you on the show. This will be really fun. Let's talk big picture first. College ready. What is college ready? Who do you serve? Maybe a little history. Like, how did this all come to be? Tell me more about college ready.
Sure. So first, I should say I am a mother of 2 boys and 2 girls. I have 2 biological children and 2 stepchildren, and we are just one big happy family. And I bring that up because I've had the honor of raising 4 young adults, which I believe makes me the best candidate to talk to parents about how do we plan for their future. College is one path. It's not the only path. I also help students who want to go to trade school, who want to be influencers, who want to be entrepreneurs. Like, there's lots of paths. But people, when I started thinking of the name of my company 18 years ago, College Ready was the only one that really kind of mapped out a plan. That's just part of the future, people said. Parents are like, yes, of course my kids are going to college. There's no option. I'm like, okay, then we might as well call it that. But to be very clear, College Ready was started from a need. My oldest came home in middle school and he says, "Mom, I know exactly what I want to do when I grow up. And I know where I want to go to college." And I was like, "Oh, wow, what happened to school today?" He said, "Well, the high school counselor came to our school and she said we could be anything we want to be and we should start planning for it. So can you help me?" And I thought, yeah, of course. I'm your mom. I can get you tutors. I can get you soccer coaches. Like, I can get you whatever you need. What I didn't know is there was nobody that I could find to help him become a brain surgeon and go to an Ivy League school. That was well above my pay grade as a mother. And yes, I went to college, but it was so long ago and it was so different that I knew I needed to do something to support him. So we did go to his high school counselor, and she pretty much told him, "Don't waste your time or money being a doctor because they don't make enough money anymore." And he was shocked and very discouraged. And so we left. And I went back to school and I got my master's degree. And then I became an independent certified college admissions planner. Then I started touring 25 colleges a semester. 18 years later, that young man, he applied to 12 schools, got into 11, 7 full rides, ended up going to Harvard Pre-Med, UC San Diego Medical School, and he is now the chief resident at UCLA Orthopedic Surgery. Finally, it's almost done, and he's 31, and he will graduate with a total of $30,000 in debt.
Wait a minute.
So
That
it is possible.
that's all for that much
That's it.
education?
Yes,
Okay, wow.
that is amazing. He'll have it paid off his first couple of paychecks.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Wow.
Yeah. So that's what we're here for. We're here to help families navigate, how do I best help my child figure out their major, figure out their career path, figure out, who are they and what matters to them and what are they going to advocate for and what gets them excited? Who do they want to serve? How do they become a leader? So we're more than just pick a school and we'll send you there. We're more about how do we prepare this family with this teenager or teenagers so they can be successful well beyond college and have that return on investment. So last year, our students earned over $10.3 million in scholarships on top of need base. So they were all earned. And I like families to know that because they get so discouraged when they look at social media. And I'm on a mission to change that. It's not as bad as it may seem.
How many students do you work with at any given time? I know it'll fluctuate during the year, but on average, like how many students and families are you trying to help?
Yeah, so it's not just me, it's me and a team of 11. And so last year we had 29 seniors get 10.3 million in scholarships. So we did better than the stock market. And so we can take a lot of freshmen because they're much easier. But by the time they're a senior, it's about 20 hours of work a week to apply to all of the universities with the essays and the applications and the resume and everything we need them to prepare. So we are mindful that we don't overcommit, but we are fully present for our students.
So that high school counselor who kind of gave your son a different direction to go after, yet here he is doing exactly kind of what he wanted to do and helping people in that way medically. What, how do you work with students to help them find their passion about what they want to do? Because I think when you're 15, 16, 18, you're just like the whole world is a mystery and you don't even know what your talents or abilities are. Or do you help people kind of find their passion as well?
So that's part of our process. First, I think it's a shame that the high schools do not do what we do because I wish every high school prepared our children for life, not just for graduation. So, how our program works is it's very unique. We're a very all-inclusive program. The first thing we do when we start working with a family is we spend time with the student and get to know what are their core values, the things that they're gifted in, talented in, things they're not great at, that they don't want to do, things they advocate for. This generation are big advocates. And then we start to figure out what makes them tick. We ask them a simple question. So, parents, as you're listening, ask your teenager, who are you? And just don't say a word, as quiet as you can possibly be. And just pause, and you will see a look of perplexity. Like, that's a trick question. And unfortunately, that's a shame. But this generation is spending a lot of time on their phone and their computer, and their lives are filled with other people's who are they? And so we spend a lot of time helping them understand, who am I? Then we look at, how do other people see me? How do my parents see me? My best friends see me? And we do a lot of self-reflection because when we start there, It is super easy to pick a college major, pick a career, because you're very clear on who you are and what matters to you. So we take it from there, and then we have them do some fun assessments to guide us in what would be a good career. Some people want to be outside all day long. Other people want to work in a cubicle. We can't assume any of this. So I have a fun game that I love to play with my teenagers. You ready?
Okay, let's go. Yeah.
I'm going to give it away, Dave. Here
Okay.
we go.
All right. Everyone lean forward. Okay.
So there's only 2 rules to this game. 1, you cannot roll your eyes and say that's a stupid idea. That's number 1.
Okay.
And number 2 is no shrieking like, oh no, they're going to be an artist. Okay, so here we go. Dave, if I gave you $1 million cash and you had 24 hours to spend it, or you had to give it all back to me, what would you do with it?
No rules. I can do whatever I want.
Whatever you want.
Okay. I would give it to as many people as possible, split it up and get rid of it right away.
There you have it. So guess what? You're a giver. I just helped you without making you feel like you didn't know who you are. And you're like, oh my gosh, I'm a giver. What does that mean? You find joy in giving more than you do receiving. And how will that serve you in the long run? As long as you can give, you're going to have joy. And just think, if every student who graduated high school had the simple thought of, who am I? And what do I need colleges to learn about me, so they understand if I'm a good fit at their school? So many people are trying to force, I want to go to this named school, without even realizing, is it a good academic fit, social fit, or financial fit?
Yeah. And I think that exercise about being a giver, I would be attracted to companies, organizations, careers that give back as well. That would be that would draw me to them. So that also helps me narrow down the types of places I want to work as well.
Right. And for teenagers, because not many people have given them the gift of financial literacy, I will ask them, and they would buy a jet, and then they buy a yacht, and then they fly their friends all over the world. And okay, great. So you love to travel, you love your friends, and you love nice things, but that's way more than $1 million. And they're shocked. They're like, oh, I had no idea. So a lot of it comes down to, sometimes our children, our teens, don't really understand what it costs to live in the home that they're living in. As parents, we provide so well and we want to give them the best. The downside is, when I ask them, well, how much do you need to make to live as a next door neighbor to your parents? I don't know.
That's a good question. That's a really good question.
How much does it take to move out with your buddies or to go to college? I don't know. So if they don't know, how are they ever going to make a decision on a career? I'll talk to students and they'll be like, $30,000 a year. Yes, I'm going to be so wealthy. And I'm like, oh no, what have we done? And that's real. That's not something I can make up. They really don't have the wherewithal. I had one student, though, Dave, you'll appreciate. This student says, first, I'd take the $1 million and I'd buy fixer-uppers. Then I'd fix them up and I'd flip them and I'd buy bigger. And I fix those up. And I said, what do your parents do for a living? He goes, oh, they flip homes. So the kids do listen. They do watch. They do pay attention. And so I think, to your first comment, how would a 15, 16, or 17-year-old know? Somebody's got to have conversations. And if you don't plan the conversations, it's not going to happen, because they're busy or running them around all over the county or country trying to get them into college, but nobody's taking time to figure out who they are, what matters to them.
That's a great starting point. Yeah, you're right. It's modeled at home first. And as parents, that's our responsibility. And also picking up on what our kids gravitate to as well,
Sure.
right? So let's say you're the dad and you're messing around with the car on the weekend, and your son or daughter takes an interest in what you're doing. Well, how did you do that? How do you do this? There's something naturally curious about that moment, then capitalize on that, like explain things and show them how things work. And, when people want to learn how to build something or garden, or there's something about what you're doing that sparks the curiosity of your kids, include them in that and let them see what it takes to do the things that you're doing. Like explain it as well. I think that's really important. Good. That's really good stuff.
Good. I'm glad I could help. So that's step one. And we start that when they're in middle school or high school. So we work with students as young as seventh grade and all the way through a student who maybe wants to do a college transfer or community college to a college transfer. But if we don't start there, the student feels overwhelmed and they actually have humility that they don't know. If you ask a teenager and they don't know and they shrug, you will see the look of sadness that they don't know and it feels like everybody else does. And it's super frustrating. But all we have to do is help them figure out. And if they don't, there's the easiest way, community service. Serving your community, doing something good for somebody else takes the pressure off the teenager. Because guess what? Nobody else is doing it, so they're going to do it better than that person. So community service is a brilliant way to help your child figure out, do I like people? Do I not? Do I like animals? Do I like the elderly? Do I like babies? Do I like technology? Do you see how you can step in? It costs you nothing. You can have intellectual curiosity and you can help another human being. That's what we call purpose. The second step in which we help students get clarity about who they are and what they want to do in this world. They were put here for a reason. They just don't know what it is yet. So we're helping them figure that out.
As parents, when should we really start planning financially towards our kids going off to school and all that down the road? That's probably one thing I think my wife and I probably could have done better. Is that part of the planning? When you're young and
Sure.
your family's young, money's tight, everything's tight. And the idea of having extra to put away sometimes seems like it's a nice to have, but not necessary because money is really hard to come by. When should we be starting to be thinking financially for our children's future around college?
So you want to think about the financial part as a family unit. There are some families in my program that are happy to write a check if I can get their kid in. Bottom line, they have the money, they no problem at all. But that's the minority. Then you have the medium, the majority of the families where they make too much but not enough to get help. And so they're caught in the sandwich of, wait a minute, I'm working as hard as I can, but I don't have enough extra 65,000 a year that I can give to school A, B, or C. That family is the one who has to get really, really clear about what that looks like. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to think about, does your family have two entrepreneurs, two independent contractors with lots of deductions? Or are they two W-4 and they basically are going to turn in a stub and everybody already knows how that's going to work out, right? There's different strategies for different families. So if you're a W-2 family, you could either get a side hustle and have some of the benefits of that, or you can start a 529 plan and just start putting away from the day they're born and do the best that you can. And that's all you can do. And don't feel guilty about it. But if it comes down to, providing food on the table or saving for college, you provide food on the table, right? But for the families who are like, okay, we have put Johnny in, 17 private hockey league clinics or private coaching, each at 1,000 each, but yet we don't have money to save for college. I want parents to think deeply. So 3% of students get a full ride for athletics. 3.
Wow, 3. Okay.
Academically, it is way higher. And so all that money that you're chasing to put into their sport, and I'm not down on sports. I was a scholar athlete. My kids were scholar athletes. This is not a bash on sports. I'm just trying to help answer your question. It's how you think about money, right? And so if you have to make choices, it's important that you also involve your child because your child needs to start understanding that money is not endless and that their future is also important. So that's how you want to start thinking about it. The next thing is you want to get your financial house in order by the second semester of their high school year, of their sophomore year, and the first semester of their junior year, because that is where the FAFSA looks. It's called a double look back. They just look at your taxes and they look where your assets are held. And there are places that they say they won't look because legally and ethically, they cannot take your retirement from you. So there are ways that you can legally and ethically shield your money if you understand the FAFSA. So what you want to do when your child hits about middle school is you want to understand what your student aid index is. It's a regulated government mandate for every college to ask between 4 and 6 questions on their website. It costs you nothing. For your listeners, I'm happy to do it for them for free. And basically what they find out is how much a university thinks they can afford. And I promise you, Dave, not one person has ever gone, yes, I am so excited to pay that. They're like, there's no way. How can they expect me to pay that? I can't even make ends meet. Now you have to get clear. What are you going to do? Are you going to let your child apply to the dream school and go into massive debt? Are you going to have a different strategy? Maybe have them do undergrad where they're going to get massive scholarships and then do grad at the dream school. There's so many different ways you can slice and deal it out that every family needs to look at this uniquely for themselves.
So start early, have a plan. I like the timing of the plan too. That's really important. And again, yeah, be aware of. I wasn't aware of the percentage of sports getting a full ride. That's interesting. Now, like
And it's gotten worse.
and I'm in Canada, so some of the terminology is different here. It's like a W-2 that we don't have that terminology here,
yeah.
right? So for us, it'd be full-time paycheck, right? And then you said there's a number you said, 522, is that what you said?
529.
529.
It's different in Canada.
Okay.
So that's definitely a US thing. So that's the benefit. So I have students all over the globe. And depending on who I'm talking to, and I shouldn't have been speaking in Canadian.
Yeah, that's fine. We have people listening all over the US too. So
right?
they don't understand.
So if you have questions, right, the Canadian schools are different. But here's the thing. There are more students from other countries who are applying into the US than US applying out of the US. So I tend to speak US terms because that's the UCLAs, the Ivies, But I was just at Cambridge and Oxford and Edinburgh about 6 months ago. And it's different, but it's not extremely different. My youngest daughter just graduated from AAU in Prague. And so we had to learn what it was like navigating from the US into Europe. And that was different challenges because she got a 3-year dual degree, a US and European degree in international business for $27,000 total dollars. Do you see why we have to be open-minded when we're looking at, is it that you don't want to pay at all? There's some students who can go for free, right? But what do you get? So it really comes down to she didn't want to work that hard in high school. It wasn't her thing. And so we found a school that appreciated her well-roundedness And it was a beautiful fit for her. And and so she got to live in Europe for 3 years and travel and experience a different culture, and now she's back in the US and she's working and everything is golden and she has no debt.
That's a that's a great option. No, I think there's parents listening going, "I don't even want my kids to move to the next city, let alone
Yeah.
another part of the world," but that is such a
Her
great
dad had a
idea,
hard
right?
time. Yeah.
Because you watch all those TV sitcoms of anything family related and that dreaded move-in date into university and college, and the parents are just melting down in the hallway and everybody's crying and, "Get out, get out." Anyway, it's like the toughest thing in the world, right, to see that happen, but I like that you think globally, think beyond your state, your province, wherever you are. There's probably opportunities to go to school and get a great education if you're just a
I
little
have a
more
funny
creative.
story, Ian.
Yeah,
I
okay,
got
let's
a
go.
funny
Come on.
story. Okay. So, my firstborn, when he got the full ride to USC. Some call it University of Spoiled Children, some University of Southern California, whatever you wanna call it. I, as mom, that's an hour from home, I'm thinking, "Yes! He's gonna be near me. This is amazing." I was so excited. I didn't even care what the name of the school was. I'm like, "He's gonna stay in California." And then Harvard sent this beautiful package, and he thought that one of his friends were messing with him, so I had to call Harvard and see if it was real. And yes, it was real. What was funny is on move-in day to Harvard, it was they have no air conditioning in their dorms, and we're in Boston in August, and it was brutal, brutally hot, and we're moving in and we're sweating, and we're getting ready to all the parents are, getting ready to say goodbye, and parents are crying, and my son looks at me, he's like, "Mom, are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, why?" And he goes, "Why are you crying like the other parents?" I said, "Honey, if you were at home on my couch doing drugs, I would be crying." I go, "I'm leaving you at Harvard. I'm still in shock. Pinch me." And I left. And then when I got on the airplane, I started crying in the air. The stewardess says, "Are you going to be okay, ma'am?" And I go, "I just left my son in Boston." And she's like, "Oh, it's going to be okay." So I hear what you're saying. You just got to get through it. It's part of like the launch.
Okay, so you help students. Do you, in that kind of same vein, do you help parents at all through College Ready? What kind of stuff do you have resources for parents?
So our resources come in many shapes and sizes. There are resources they can absorb by reading and learning. I have a podcast, Parents is Your Teen College Ready. And that's a great resource because I bring in everybody you would want on your team to help you launch your child. And that is truly from therapists to tutors and the whole gamut. And then I do webinars once a week where I bring in people that will make your transition in life easy. Even from being an empty nester and enjoying that next stage. So I guess because I am on the other side of it and I survived, I bring in all the resources that I use to celebrate each of my children. And all of them want to come home for Thanksgiving and Christmas, so I think I did okay.
That's a good indicator. That's really good, yeah. Um, okay, so for people who wanna come and work with College Ready, what is kinda like an onboarding situation look like? And again, people can work with you outside of the US. You're open to helping people all around.
Uh,
So, what is kinda like an onboarding? Who do we meet with first? How do we kinda get into the stream of working with College Ready? Can you kinda take a little bit of that mystery
sure.
away for us?
Yeah, I don't want it to be a mystery because that causes anxiety, so I'm gonna simplify it. So step 1, you go to collegereadyplan.info and you schedule a complimentary 30-minute discovery call. What is your need and can we even help you? We need to know, is this a good fit for the whole family? So that's step 1. We're just like trying to figure out, is this a good fit? We offer 7 programs from 275 US on up. So we try to help everybody. If that seems like a large amount, then I would encourage you for your listeners. I have both of my best-selling books on Amazon for 99 cents because I never want to say no to anybody. Okay. So you can go to Amazon and pick up those. And then once we get on the discovery call and you're like, Shellee, I don't want to learn how to do this. This is overwhelming. I just want to go to work and do what I'm good at. It's like when you have a CPA or you have a realtor, you're just like so happy they're on your team. That's the So we have it set up where we can do it all and all you do is hugs and high fives, or we can do it where you're fully involved every step of the way, every meeting and everything in between. So what we do is we meet with students one-to-one via Zoom and we work on 3 things that they need to have completed or will need to have be completed very shortly. And then once they complete that, we meet again. And so it's a consistent, gentle movement forward with support where they don't have to think of the how or the why or the what. We just talk about what they want. For sports enthusiasts, think of it as a hockey coach, right? You have a hockey coach. If you didn't have a hockey coach and I handed you a stick and a puck, what would you do? And ice skates. It'd be really scary, right? But if I gave you a coach, how fast could you learn that game? That's what we do. We teach families how to play the college admissions game without all the bumps and the bruises and the guess and the mistakes. And we just guide them each step of the way. We help them find their passion. We help them create a passion with purpose project. We help them to pick their major, pick their career. We help them to figure out what is a good fit school academically, socially, and financially. So we're there supporting the family with what they need to be doing, when they need to be doing, and how they need to be doing it.
Okay, that's good. Do we work with a single person kind of all the way through? Do we kind of move around and work with different people on the team? Kind of what's that relationship like as well?
So what we do is after I meet with a student, I have a really good idea who would be the best consultant for that type of learner, for that type of communicator. And so I will put that student with one of my consultants. And I got to say, I'm pretty good at that part of my job. And then so they're working with their consultant. It could be from 7th grade all the way to graduation. They may not find us until, grade level 9, 10, 11, whenever they find us, they would have but one main consultant. I work with them once a week on their Passion with Purpose project. I have started a nonprofit. I built a school in Uganda, Africa. And it has been an amazing experience for my students to help make this happen. We've built 3 classrooms and 850 little children can now attend school who couldn't prior to us. And so students can do things like make medical booklets to teach them about malaria, to teach them about skin cancer, to teach them about hygiene. Where other people, I have a student who raised funds to send them keyboards, and now she's making YouTube videos, and we got them a TV and streaming, and she's teaching them how to play the piano from the beauty of being here. So what we do is we're allowing students to open up their mind and not think of all the reasons why they can't do it, but giving them a safe place where they can do it.
And as a guy who loves giving back, I resonate with all of that. I think that's amazing that your team and the people you work with and the people who work with you have a global focus as well. And seeing to go and do that and oversee, that's amazing. That's a great story. And it's a great reason to be around. I think that's really amazing. I like that.
Thank you. My students they are so excited about it. It actually, I had come home from Africa. I was asked to go over there because I'm a female entrepreneur and they wanted me to help women teach them how to start businesses because many of the men have died from AIDS and from war. And so my heart led me to say yes. And I spent 20 days in Uganda leaning into women and then giving them 50 US dollars, a little bit of startup money, which is huge over there, and helping write them a business plan. And so now my students are doing the same thing. So they're helping the women who have learned how to sew to write a business plan on how to make uniforms for the public schools. So these students are teaching other people, adults and children, things that they would never get an opportunity to do here in the US. And so it's been an amazing journey. And we're just about 2.5 years into it. And 850 kids walk 3 hours to school and 3 hours home just to be part of it.
That's amazing. Talk a little bit more about your podcast as well. Who is your target audience? Who are you trying to reach through the podcast? Let's talk about that.
So my podcast, Parents Is Your Teen College Ready, actually was a gift during COVID. There were so many parents who thought that their high schools were preparing their children for the next stage. And when they didn't go to high school, they realized really nobody was doing it. And so they started really panicking. And I would get parents calling me crying, like, we need tutors, we need therapists, we need IEPs. We just need. And I'm like, okay, I'm one person is spending a ton of time because I'm a giver as well. I'm like, how do I help the masses? And so I'm like, I need a podcast. I don't know how to do it. I don't know any of that. I could say no. And I said, yes, I'll figure it out. And so my podcast, I invite guests that help parents navigate parenthood and navigate, how do I launch my child and get them ready for their future? And so Parents Is Your Teen College Ready is on every streaming channel, and it's on my website as well. So you can listen either or.
I'm glad so many different ways that you have to work with your community and support people. I can tell you're a giver. I can just, by the way you show up, I can tell that this is really your passion. Let's talk again about the website. I have one more question to kind of wrap up our time together today, Shellee. But again, what do we see when we go to the website? I know you have a free gift for the listeners as well that we just want to highlight and make sure everybody understands what's available to them when they come to you for the first time. But again, take us to the website. What do we see? Where should we go first?
So the website is www.collegereadyplan. Okay. The name of the company is College Ready, but the success is the plan. So it's collegereadyplan.com. When you go to the website, there's so much. So there's a bit about me and my story. There's all my team members. There's what our mission is. There's free resources. There's our podcast, our blog. It is a one-stop resource. As a listener of your show, if they go to collegereadyplan.info, they will get 30 minutes to talk about their situation and get some solutions. It's not a sales presentation. It's how we can answer those questions and get you on your way if you want to navigate that. And then the final is if you go to Amazon and you look up Shellee Howard, you can see my 2 best-selling books on sale for 99 cents for your listeners.
Excellent. I like it, Shellee. So my question to you then, as we wrap up, the future of College Ready. What is your plan? There, I put plan in there. What is your plan for College Ready? What do you see down the road? How are you going to continue to grow this? What is your big, audacious dream for College Ready as you look into the future?
So my big dream is that we stop the debt. College debt is the second worst debt in the United States. And our government is not going to do anything about it because they're the ones who are making all the benefit of the interest. So parents don't count on that. My big audacious dream is that I can help 1.2 million families get into their dream college and graduate without debt. And as far as my short-term goal, we're really getting clear on AI and how that's going to affect our generation, because there's going to be jobs that are lost, but there's going to be a lot of jobs that are gained. We don't even have a name for them yet. And I need to stay on the front line with that to help my students stay in the mindset of who they are and be open to considering what is going to be next in this AI world.
It's very interesting right now. And I do love that you mentioned like trade schools and stuff. That's another option for our kids to consider.
Yep.
I know my oldest son went that route and went to college and got into a trade, and bang, he's been working right out of high school, like right away. Had a co-op placement in high school, helped him find a spot. And that was it for him. He found his spot. So there's a lot of different paths for you and your kids. And I think working with people who know what they're doing and can give direction, accountability, have a plan. I think that's all great. Those are all the things we're missing as parents because we don't know what we're doing. And things change so much. We're not up to date on what's happening in universities and colleges. We don't know about bursaries and awards and sponsorships. We don't know about all these things. But having somebody like you, Shellee, and your team, I think that's really great leverage for us as parents. So again, I'm so glad to have you here on this show. We're going to have you on the How to Podcast series as well to talk podcasting and talk more about your show. I'm excited to have you back for that. Any last words of wisdom and encouragement for parents listening today who, as parents, they want to do their best for their kids and create great opportunities in the future? What can we wrap up to inspire these dads listening?
So there's 4 ways you can approach this. You could pretend it's not going to happen. You can put your head in the sand and just not be a part of it. You could do it yourself, like, you do your own plumbing or your own electrical, or you can get support. And it's really up to you. But the main thing is, it's like, if you don't plan, you plan to fail. And that's the only thing I want. Whatever your plan is, just have a plan and start. The sooner, the better. It's never too early to start talking about your child and their future.
Great words of wisdom. Shellee, thank you so much for making time to be here, talk about College Ready Plan and all the great things you have for us. I'm really excited that you can make time to be here with us.
It's been my pleasure. Thank you, Dave.
Okay, everybody, all you dad space people out there, I know this is now going to spark conversation around the dinner table tonight. Do you have a plan? Yes or no? If you don't have a plan, reach out to Shellee. She'd love to talk to you. There's free options for you to meet and chat and figure out what's the right thing for you. I know Shellee would love to hear from you, and her team would love to work with you as well. Shellee, thank you so much for doing this.
My pleasure. Thanks so much, listeners.
Hey, thanks for sticking around here to the end of Dad Space. I appreciate you for pressing play and being a part of our community at dadspace.ca is the website, as always. And if you are interested and you'd like to fill up our cup, because dads, we drink coffee. So, hey, anytime you feel the need to say, I want to give David coffee, I would love it. I would appreciate it. I take 2 cream in my coffee, no sugar, because it's not a soda for our American friends. It's a coffee. Just cream. What do you take in your coffee? Let me know. Dadspace.ca. If you want to support the show, there's a buy me a coffee right there. Love to fill up my cup, and I thank you in advance. And thank you for being part of Dadspace. We'll talk soon.